Everybody, it's Hayden Green again. You know, Brooklyn's favorite polymath, and I am coming off of a high of just being at Comic-Con 2024. It was absolutely amazing. So if you went, you know what I'm talking about. And, you know, as your favorite host of dope people, I met a lot of dope people, including some people, some authors that I picked up some books from. And I want to talk about one book in particular. Well, I'm going to talk about a couple of different things in other podcasts, but I wanted to start a conversation about one book that I picked up in particular. It's called Big Jim and the White Boy. And that's a pretty stark title, but it is by David Walker and Marcus Kwame Anderson, and they have put together what I consider to be a masterpiece. And I got the book, and on Monday I started reading it, and within 2 hours I couldn't put it down and I was done. And it's not a small book, right? So, but it is illustrated. So there's a lot of really beautiful art in here. And just to tell you a little bit about what the book is about, it reimagines the tale of Huckleberry Finn and looks at it from the point of Jim. In Mark Twain's version, Jim is the runaway slave, a runaway enslaved person that Huckleberry Finn gets on a raft or down the river. And so this book reimagines it from Jim's point of view. And what it does, it really gives you a differentiated narrative of what it was like in those times from the point of view of somebody who was enslaved. Now, if you've met me for more than 5 minutes, you know I hate slave narratives. I hate them. I'm tired of them. I don't want to read any more of them. But when I tell you I could not put this down, I'm telling you it was so well written. It really incorporates a lot of history that has not been taught with a fresh look at what it was like for an enslaved African at that time. And I bookmarked a couple of pieces because I wanted to talk about them in particular. So the first thing that you're going to notice is that it talks about from Big Jim's point of view, and the authors have reimagined that Jim was a real character and was telling the story all these many years later, right? And getting mad about the way that Mark Twain had depicted him in the book, right? So that's the first and foremost. You get a first-hand recanting of what happened to Jim and Huckleberry Finn, and you'll get to find out why the title is called Big Jim and the White Boy. It's really, really, really well done. But more importantly, I think what you start to see is pieces of the life of an enslaved person being fleshed out, where there is a family, there are wives and daughters and people that they care about, and not just chattel, and not just people who were escaping from something, or more importantly, people that were content with the life that they were living. And so it is also really infused with some pieces of information that people didn't know, which is interesting because I am doing a podcast, one of the Dope Persons podcasts. And as you know, at the end of each Dope Person podcast, we do a dope moment in history. And one of the places that we talk about in an upcoming episode is a place called New Philadelphia. And Big Jim escapes to New Philadelphia. New Philadelphia is in Illinois. And so it brings that up. It talks about those things, but it also talks about not the Revolutionary War, but the Civil War, and where it actually started. And most people think that it started in one place, but the book talks about who were the first formerly enslaved people who were incorporated into the army. And it does this with such deft emotion, and the artwork is really beautiful. In this panel, this is one of my favorite panels in the book. It really looks at how, just a moment of tenderness between two old men. And I I found myself welling up just reading through those panels. And at the back of the book, there is a bunch of information about all of the historical things that they talk about, but you may not know. So some of it is fiction, but some of it is actual facts that they have researched and are then put into the book. It reminds me of some of the stuff that I did in Smush, but this is not about my book. This is about Big Jim and the White Boy. So if you get a chance, please pick this book up. And I got it signed, but you can get yours wherever you want to get it. I just want to flex that mine is signed. All right. But again, pick up Big Jim and the White Boy. This is Hayden, and I will see you at the next episode. See you later.